This is Monday Morning Meditations number 277 on the Rising Man podcast with Jetty Azuma. You can be assertive without being an asshole. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Morning Meditations here on the Rising Man podcast. My name is Jetty Azuma. If you don't know me by now, I'm the host of the Rising Man podcast and here to bring you some Monday morning wisdom to get your week started off right. Without further ado, today's Monday morning meditation is assertiveness over aggression. Now, for those of you who've been listening to The Rising Man for a long time, you probably heard me speak about this topic before. Raise your hand if you're a recovering nice guy. Yeah, we got a lot of those. I'm one of them too. When I was younger, I used to be so terrified of disappointing people or making them upset. I just didn't want to get my ass kicked, or I didn't want to get ridiculed and exiled, which is like most of us. We learn to be polite, we learn to be kind and compassionate, we give people the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, we all have limits. We all have boundaries and borders, and it's important to be able to establish them. The problem with nice guys like me is that when I've been so accommodating and so open, letting people walk and roll over me most of my life, the reflex for me when my boundaries get crossed is to go way on the other end of the spectrum, to be explosive and angry and what I would call aggressive. And I learned in my adult years that there's a huge difference between assertiveness and aggression. Aggression is angry, it's uncontrolled, it's unrestrained. Assertiveness is precise. It's like an archer pulling back his arrow and nailing a bullseye. We can pass our emotions through the eye of a needle with practice and mastery of our emotions and our command of ourselves. But aggressiveness is a very loose and chaotic and frantic energy that comes from somebody who's not very well practiced in making a stand. So whether you're a nice guy or not, this topic's relative for everybody, or relevant for everybody, because we want to be able to assert boundaries. What does it mean to be assertive? I want to be able to let somebody know, hey, I won't let you speak to me like that. I don't want to be spoken to like that. And if that's the way you speak to people, then I just don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. But if we're going to have a conversation, my request is don't speak that way to me. Otherwise, I'm going to be finished. Being very clear, being very specific, letting people know where I stand. It's uncomfortable. Some people might feel offended by that. It might feel like that's a pushback, when really, I'm just establishing my stand. I'm not advancing into your domain and saying, hey, you're being a douche. You're being an asshole. Don't talk to me like that. How dare you? Putting it on them. I'm just saying, hey, don't talk to me like that. I won't have a conversation with somebody who speaks to me in that tone. Assertiveness. Aggressiveness is extending haphazardly beyond that. It's like a haymaker. You ever see those fights on YouTube where people are just like throwing their hands up, right? A calculated, assertive person can deliver a very specific strike, and it doesn't even have to do any harm. Aggressiveness can cause harm to the person involved and myself and everybody around. Assertiveness actually moves towards safety. It's like letting somebody know, hey, there's a landmine there. Oh, there's another one over there. If you step on that spot, you're going to blow your leg off. I'm just going to tell you right now. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm letting you know that when you push up against these boundaries, the outcome is going to be me pushing back. And I don't want that. That's what assertiveness looks like. And it's a very measured skill to be assertive with somebody without being aggressive. It's a measured skill to be stern and clear with somebody without being mean. And this is so valuable in relationships with men. A lot of men that I've seen come into the spaces over the years get triggered when somebody makes a stand. They get triggered by assertiveness because a lot of us have been beaten up by boys and men in our lives. We've been yelled at and disciplined by our fathers and uncles and other male figures. So anytime that there's something that feels like aggressiveness in the room, it feels unsafe. Until you recognize that somebody being stern or clear is really just giving you an opportunity to see where their limits are. Saying, hey, I'm not going to buy that from you. I'm not buying what you're saying right now. I don't believe it. I want to trust you. I really want to trust you, but it sounds like BS to me, and I don't want to sell you out. That's what it looks like to be stern and clear. It can still create discomfort, and in the best cases, it actually does. because we don't come into this work to be comfortable. If you're looking for a men's circle, if you're looking for men's work and you just want to be more comfortable in your life, then you're looking in the wrong place. We're not going to push you out and make you feel bad about yourself. That's not the opposite of being in comfort. The nature of being in work like this is you will be challenged from a loving place. You will be pushed and drawn clear boundaries to support you and help you feel more safe, more confident, more trusting of the people that you surround yourself with. So this discipline and more distinction between aggressiveness and assertiveness is so important. And I share it here today because I know there's a lot of you guys out there. I know there's many of you who listen to this podcast, these Monday morning meditations, and in your life, you're still letting people dictate your life for you. You're still giving away authority and power. And then when it gets to be too much, you're being reactive and explosive, and then you become ashamed of feeling that way. I know, I've been there before. It's uncomfortable. It requires practice. It requires more attention and honestly more groundedness to be precise and assertive, to draw back that arrow with precision and to release it effortlessly, to let people know where you stand. Be clear about, these are my boundaries. I will not extend past this. Do not wander into this territory in my world because you're not welcome here. We can communicate from over here, but I won't let you in here. I'm not going to let you sell yourself out. That energy that we can bring for each other is so unique and valuable and special because most of the world, it just tells you what you want to hear. We're too busy being polite because we don't want to acknowledge that the world feels unsafe. But when you want to get into real relationships, when you want people to push back on you and let you know what the real is that they're seeing, you better learn to accept assertiveness and to deliver assertiveness back. That's the most trust-building exercise that there is in this work. So I hope that one hits you right between the eyes, right where you need it. Sternness is a gift. Assertiveness is a gift. And we can do it without being an asshole. Want to learn how? Come spend time with us in Rising Man. Want to hear more? Tune in next week for another Monday morning meditation here on the Rising Man podcast. Until then, rise up and claim your destiny.